speaking of really, really, really good, LA Chargers last season, guys, they kind of took us all by surprise with the whole Tyrod Taylor getting punctured lung and like all that stuff, and Herbert came in and done his thing, and in my opinion, he was the rookie of the year. But they did finish 7-9, but they did win the last 4 games of the season, giving them momentum into the offseason, right, Combs? So therefore, Tori, what is your overall record for the LA Chargers this season?
I actually have them going 11-6.
Wow.
So I think they continue to develop. Again, this is just a team that oozes talent, and there again, nobody's talking about them, but they are still considered one of the front runners, right there with the Titans, to get Julio Jones. And I think you pair, like, just as if you paired him with AJ Brown, I think you pair him with Keenan Allen as well. Who's going to stop that offense? Nobody. They have the
Kansas City
running
Chiefs
back
will
position. I don't know. Not if their defense keeps going the way it's been going, but
still stop them.
so I have them. Yeah, 11-6. I think is right about where they're going to be. I have them. I think I have them backdooring into the playoffs, like as like the 7 seed.
11-6 or
11-6 is a 7 seed.
11-6. Wow. Okay. I'm on the complete opposite spectrum of that, but I'll kick it to Combs first. Combs, what do you have the Chargers at?
Wow, you're on the opposite spectrum of that? Wow. I got them higher than that. I got them at 13-4.
Wow.
I think that outside of this division, their schedule is really weak. They don't play a whole lot of tough competition. Inside their schedule, I think that they are one of the top. They are a top 2 team in this division, and I actually have them sweeping the Kansas City Chiefs in this division, and going 5-1 in the division. So I have them at 13-4.
So you guys both have them going into the division, or basically killing it in the AFC this season. And I'm on the total opposite side of the spectrum. So I can tell you this, that I have the Chargers going 1-5 in the first 6 weeks of this season.
What?
1-5. They lose to the football team. They lose to the Cowboys. They lose to the Chiefs, and they lose to the Browns and the Ravens. Their only win is versus the Raiders that week number 4. So I had the Chargers going 5-12 this season, 2-4 in the division. Combs, you had the Chargers sweeping the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs sweeping the Chargers this season. And we are all about
imagine that
late season pushes. Guess what, guys? I have the Chargers losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their last 7 games to end the season. How am I a homer? I'm picking the Chargers schedule here. I'm not picking the Chiefs schedule. But there's a such thing as a sophomore slump, and I think Herbert has a sophomore slump this season, and he digresses a lot because the Chargers lost a lot in the offseason. They lost their tight end. They lost some players on the defensive side, and their draft wasn't very good either. So the Chargers take a step back, and they are the worst team in this division this year at 5-12. So Combs, I'm going to kick it to you first. I'm not smoking anything. What game do you have circled on this schedule this season?
What are you snorting then instead? You're not smoking nothing.
Pixie sticks.
You gotta be doing something.
Pixie sticks.
5-12.
Yeah, you're crazy. The game that I'm circling on this one is going to be that first game against the Chargers, or against the Chiefs, I should say. I think that's a statement game for the Chargers. I think that going into that game, I have them 1-1. I have them beating Washington and then losing to Dallas in week 2. But I have them beating the Chiefs in week 3. I have them making a statement. And then, I don't even really have them going on a run after that either. I have them winning one more and then losing to Cleveland and Baltimore back-to-back. Then they go on their little run because they get New England, Philly, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Denver, the Bengals, the Giants before they see the Chiefs again. So I think the schedule is really, really soft. I think that it favors them. I'm a big believer, and I'm a big believer. I've been a big believer since he got drafted.
You are?
Big believer in Justin Herbert and what he can do. So I've got them at 13-4.
So before I kick it to Tori, do you believe in a sophomore slump at all? Do you think Herbert is going to digress at all this season, or is he still going to continue his upward trajectory?
Did you talk to me or Tori? I thought you said
To
Tori.
you, I said before I kick
No,
it
to
to
you.
Tori.
Oh! Before you kick it to no, I don't think that the sophomore slump. Like I've never believed in a sophomore slump. I've seen plenty of guys who in their second year are just as good as they were in their first year. You know, you look at like some of the greats of all time. Most of those guys didn't have sophomore slumps. Some of them had rookie slumps. If you want to talk about Peyton Manning, he had a rookie slump, but he was better his second year. So it just depends on the player. It depends on the player's situation, the team that he's on, and I think that this Chargers team is just really, really good. I think they're really good defensively, and I think that makes them even better offensively because they have more opportunities. They're getting the ball back. They're excited. They're always playing, with excitement because of how their defense plays. So I think that helps them out a lot, and I think that Herbert has a good season.
Okay, so Tori, what about you? What game do you have circled?
So I got their week 8 game coming out of their bye week against the Patriots because I think that kind of kickstarts them on getting really ascending. I have them going 3-3 the first 6 weeks of the season. Then they got their bye. After that, I'm like Brandon. I have them ripping off wins: Patriots, Eagles, Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, Bengals, and Giants. So that's
the
7
same
wins
way
in a
I
row.
have it. I have them 3-3 before the bye week, and then they just go on a run because of the soft schedule.
That schedule plays really favorable. The only one that could potentially be a little bit of a trap game in there, I think, would be the Cincinnati game, just because West Coast to East Coast.
The reason
time.
why I have them winning that game is I think that Justin Herbert wants to go out and show that he's better than Joe Burrows after Joe Burrows was picked ahead of him. So I think that's where I had them winning that game. I think if there's a sleeper game in any of those things, I actually think it's Philly, because you're going coast to coast. You're going from the West Coast to the East Coast. It's a 1:00 game, and it's Philadelphia, and the fans in Philadelphia are ridiculous and stupid, and that's what they do out there. They get in your head, and so that's the one I think might be a sleeper game for them. But I just think that run is just too soft for them to really lose any momentum.
Yeah, and so the game that I have circled is the Eagles game, because I think if when they lose to the Eagles in that Week 9, so I have the Eagles winning that game versus the Chargers Week 9. This continues their downward spiral of this season, because at this point they only have 2 wins on the season, so they're going to be 2-6 going into Week 10, and the Vikings come into town. And the Vikings are going to be no joke. I mean, yes, I have them as a down year. I had them 6 and 11 this season, but I mean they aren't going to be a cakewalk by any means. So for them to possibly be a 8-9, 7-10 type of team here, they have to beat the Eagles, and I just don't see that happening in my eyes. So. Tori, who is the MVP for the LA Chargers this season?
Ooh, there's a lot of talent on that team. I'm going to go with there is. I'm going to go with Austin Eckler, though. This is a lot of people, unless you're a fantasy football guy, a lot of people don't even know who Austin Eckler is.
Yeah.
So Austin Eckler is probably one of the best backs that you've never heard of in this league. The guy can run the ball like there's no tomorrow. He can catch the ball. He can block. The kid just does it all. I think that really sets up this offense this year and sets up the rest of the offense for the rest of the year, as long as he stays healthy.
Combs, what about you? Who's their MVP this season?
That's going to be Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's the MVP of this team. Justin Herbert's the leader of this team. I think Justin Herbert, is in MVP conversations, and I think he has a great season and leads this team to possibly a division win.
So, for me, their MVP this season is going to be Ty Long. He is going to be averaging 8 or 9 punts a game, and he's going to probably be averaging about 40 to 45 yards per punt as well. So he will be leading the NFL in punts and yardage in those punts. No, I'm totally kidding.
I was like, what the hell did he just do?
I was going to be like, this is just a natural buck take at this point.
Yeah.
So for the Chargers to have a successful season, Joey Bosa has to have a great year. So because let's face it, this team goes as far as Joey Bosa goes. I mean, he is a highly sought after defensive end there, and he is just a great player. I mean, so I think Joey Bosa is their MVP this season.